We're the highest in the market on everything that we do, but people pay it all day long because you can read the reviews and they say it was effortless, the quality was high, and the communication was the best.
I remember this one woman said, she says, no offense to you, but I don't care about gutter cleaning. Nobody does. I got like a million things to do. I got all these residents, and I like that when you say you're coming on Wednesday, you do. When you say you're going to give me an estimate in 2 days, you do.
How do we make their life easier is the question we should always ask ourselves. We're going there to solve a problem. And if you can solve that problem by in such a way that they don't have to worry about it.
How much time did I save by doing that? I won so many accounts because I go fast.
America's backbone was built on blue-collar business grit, grind, and muscle. This is where you stop working for the business, and the business starts working for you.
All right, blue-collar millionaires, appreciate y'all tuning back in. We're going to talk about how to make it easy to win your customers. When you reduce the friction, your customers are going to just flood to your doors, ready to buy. Kevin, what's some of the experiences that you've seen of what really attracts a customer based off of making it easy, giving them the easy button?
That was pretty intuitive to me, young. Like, make it easy for people. People would call up and they'd say, hey, I want to get on your lawn schedule. How do I do it? And then I would just make it super simple for them. There's nothing you need to do. We'll go out there Thursday. We're doing your neighbors. I'll send you an invoice after. Make sure everything's good. You pay me in 30 days kind of stuff. I think that so many people make all these things difficult with deposits when there's no materials or anything, signing things. A lot of it for small price things, what are you going to do with that anyway? That's how I was thinking that at 17. What am I really going to do if somebody stiffs me $40 for the lawn?
Right.
Oh, I got something signed.
Right.
There was no DigiSign there. But one thing I was talking about in Elite yesterday was I started asking my customers later on and saying, what do you like about us? What can we do better? And then I would always drop this question if they were being cool. And I'd say, what do you hate about other vendors?
Yeah.
What drives you nuts? And I remember this one woman said, she says, no offense to you, but I don't care about gutter cleaning. Nobody does. I got like a million things to do. I got all these residents. And I like that when you say you're coming on Wednesday, you do. When you say you're going to give me an estimate in 2 days, you do.
Yeah.
When we call you, you answer the phone, and I never get a call that you were even there. It's like you were in and out and nobody thinks. She said, I had a gutter cleaner one time, and like he had ladders by people's cars and they were disrupting things, and people start calling me. She was like, I don't want it. And I got that feeling from a lot of people. So if you're in the commercial space, they want you to pretty much be invisible.
Yeah.
And so I think of that in mind. And then I use those negative things against them when I promote. I say, hey, we don't do these things. We do these things, and people like it. So you got to be frictionless. Even on that, I did so many commercial things. A lot of gutter cleaning companies for condominium associations, they require deposits and they do all this. We didn't do it. And part of that reason was I just want to sign you up and get paid after. I mean, think of that when I'm talking to someone, they say, well, okay, I want to do it. What do I have to do? And then, you just sign you do your job invoice. We get you on schedule. You pay us after you're happy. Right. If you're unhappy, you just let me know. I'll void the invoice or whatever. People think I'm crazy for that. In all those years of gutter, I only voided 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
How much time did I save by doing that? I won so many accounts because I go fast.
Well, that's the reality of it, and you took risk away. How do we make their life easier is the question we should always ask ourselves. We're going there to solve a problem, and if you can solve that problem by in such a way that they don't have to worry about it. Like I've told my team before, I was like, if the customer ever comes in behind you and has to tell you how you do your job because they pointed out something that you missed, then that is a massive negative, and they're going to mistrust everything else through the whole other process because now they just showed that they know how to do your job better than what you say you know how to do your job. So you're no longer the authority in the situation. And as a business owner, our mission is to build a system that makes it extremely easy for the customer to navigate through. So like, how are you taking your payments? I mean, are you able to meet the customer where they're at? Some people are going to do it on credit cards. Some people are going to write a check. Some people want to ACH it. Some people are still old school and they're going to pay cash. They don't do anything else because they don't trust the banks and they don't trust the government. I still have those in North Mississippi that I come across. But for the most part, people are credit card. Do I charge them a chargeback fee because I get charged credit card processing? Hell no. I just build it in to my current pricing, and I know that I've got somewhere between 3 and 4%, depending on what's going on, as a credit card processing fee. So I know what my margins are sitting. Like also booking. A lot of people with you were talking about the other day on the call how your kids will sit there and hit it Uber Eats, DoorDash. Everything is so off the phone now because we have those smartphones, and everybody, I don't care if it's a 5-year-old kid, has a smartphone sitting in their hands now being used. And we have to understand with that technology that people are moving in the world differently when they're buying things. So you need to have online booking opportunities. You need to be able to allow them to text through. Some people are at work booking these services or in conferences where they can't make a phone call. So if you're an only phone call kind of situation, you're going to miss out on some opportunities on being able to book customers and increase your revenue.
And I know it as a buyer too. This might sound, I hate when people tell me I need to be there to pay them or anything like that. Like, it just hit my credit card.
Yeah.
I was trying to get some bushes trimmed and weeding, and the guy's done jobs for me before. He's not my landscaper, but he's next door. My landscaper doesn't do it for some reason. And then he was like, yeah, well, what time will you be there? Because I need to get paid before. He was sending me this text. I was reading the text. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to do this. I don't want a job waiting around for you, because he was trying to tell me between 2 and 5 on Saturday. Just send me a Zelle request or anything at the end. I'll pay you in 2 minutes.
That's right.
But I did the same thing on the other thing. People don't, everybody's had somebody say, hey, do I need to be there?
Yeah.
That's them saying, tell me I don't need to be there, because I got stuff to do. And a lot of people got to take off work, or they're doing stuff with their kids.
Now they're paying twice.
I always tell them before, there's no need for you to be there. We'll take care of you, take care of everything. Treat your belongings like they're our own. That's what they want to hear. They're like, sign up, and I'll invoice you after, or I'll send you a link or whatever it is. Or if you have their credit card on file, even better, just hit it. Just make it easy for people. I don't understand why people do that.
The other thing is, are you clear on what you have to offer? Have you made it simple enough? I'm reading this book that's really transforming my thinking right now, and it was about Steve Jobs and Apple. It's I'll look it up in a second and call the title, but it's talking about how Apple's whole mode is just about being simple, and how simple is not simple to do. It's actually can take a ton of work, because you have to really think through the process. Just like a lot of people will use too many words when they're writing, when they're communicating. When you look at advertising, some of the best advertising can be just a picture, because that picture resonates with people's emotions, and it depicted exactly what they were trying to sell. So, but others would sit there and put this massive campaign with pictures, words, video, everything else, and then it's not simplified at that point. So a great way they put it is, you go to the Apple website, you've got 2 computers to choose from. And then there's a customizable situation on the screen size and then the hardware inside those. You go to Dell or any of these other sites, they've got all these different models, whether you're a consumer or commercial, whether you want, colors and Apple just took the stance of, we're producing quality. We're producing a very, sleek look. And then you can customize it based off of your needs. If you're on the commercial side, you can ramp up the hardware. If you're on the consumer side and you're just needing it for, school notebook taking and whatnot, it can be simpler. And throughout that entire book, it talked about simplifying. And what I've learned is customers don't buy if they're confused.
Never.
I've even heard of convenience stores where they sit there and widen up the shelves so that the aisles are bigger, and then they take off product from the shelves. And you would think that would reduce their opportunity to sell. But the psychology behind the buyer, they actually got into a happier mode, less stress mode. And as they're moving through the aisles, they ended up picking more up because they were in a better frame of mind. And they noticed the sales increased when they widened the aisles and they reduced the products on top of the shelves. So my question is to the audience, does their consumer know what they're offering? I went through this in the last year. I used to, if it was cleaning, it was like, I'll do whatever. You want debris removal, junk removal. You want cars detailed. You want upholstery clean, carpets clean, windows clean, air ducts clean, cleaning. And then I started simplifying, and now it's just water, mold, roofing. And it's all under the context of moisture and mold control. And my audience is able to grab a hold of what we're doing because this has just been in a matter of, we're in October. So 10 months on this transformation in our brand and service offering. And I can already see how my customer base and my market base has got better clarity on what we offer. They don't come to me and say, what all do y'all do?
Yeah.
It says it very simply, water, mold, roofing. And just that little statement helped clarify that. Before, cleaning and restoration left them open to, what all do y'all do? And we've seen a massive increase in our revenue just for the simple fact that we've simplified our service offerings. I've watched you on the gutter cleaning.
Well, I'll tell you why I do it for a few things. Yeah, confused buyers don't buy, and they make decisions much faster when there's less opportunity, and they know exactly what you do, like a good, better, best type offer. If you ever gone to a diner with a huge menu and I'm there with a big family, it's like a 40-minute thing for everybody to figure out. I just want to get to it. So I try to make it simple. But the other thing is, everybody listening to this knows one service that their company and their guys, it's just them or a crew that they crush it at. Like if you put them against 10 other companies, they'd feel like, we'll get this done faster and better than everyone else because we do it so many times. I knew what it was for me. So when people are talking about low balls and stuff, actually that's an advantage. Figure out the services that you do faster and then get faster, more efficient, better. Amazon's the perfect example of it. They get super efficient at what they're doing, and then they can undercut people. That's an incredible way to make a lot of money. Get really good at a few things rather than average at 14.
They're a great example of the easy button. You literally, now you have financing available on there. You can finance anything. It's buy it now. You can have save the credit card so you don't have to enter the credit card in constantly. They give you updates, which moves us into another point of making it easy on the communication level. Like if you want a really good model, sit there and analyze Amazon and how they communicate with the customer and their buying process. And you might say, well, Kevin, I don't have online sales. I'm, in the field, in my customer's home or in my client's business. It's the same exact process. Like look at the customer journey from start to finish, where they find you, they hear about you, they hear that you've got a solution to a possible problem that they have, all the way to the point to where they give you money and y'all are saying goodbye. But hopefully it's here's when I'll be reaching back out to you so that you can build lifetime value. When you analyze that and you analyze Amazon and you analyze your business, you will really be able to sit there and say, man, there's a lot of opportunity left on the table. And my customers really have to try hard to buy from me.
Everybody could watch this on Netflix. There's a TV show about Uber called Super Pumped.
Yeah.
And he uses the term frictionless. He's obsessed with it. The guy, Travis, who is a CEO, he's like, it has to be frictionless. It has to be on the button. Because cabs were a pain in the ass. Cash was a pain in the ass. Calling cabs, ringing them down was a pain in the ass. He figured it out, and then he literally created his own billion-dollar industry because he saw all the things they were doing wrong. Everybody can do that. You don't have to just look at your own competitors. You can look at Amazon. You can look at Apple. We all know how sleek it looks when it comes. You can look at Dollar Shave Club has a whole case study I read from Harvard Business Review. I'm a kind of a dork like that for a blue collar guy. I like to read case studies on Harvard Business Review. It's incredible. You can see how many things, why that worked and how you can apply that. Coca-Cola is another one. They have these systems. If you read what they do, you can apply it to your blue collar business because other blue collar guys aren't doing that.
And that's your competitive advantage.
And we're talking about all kinds of stuff, but frictionless, easy to deal with, easy to pick off the menu, whatever that is.
So let's go back to that for a second. What was one of the features that people loved on Uber? is it will sit there and track where the car's at, and you can see how far it is away from you.
Yep.
You can see where they're at before you even hit the buy button. So it's a level of communication. Same thing, Domino's Pizza, when they add the pizza tracker for all of those hungover college students and everyone else that's hungry late night waiting for the pizza and they're starving. They didn't go to Uber Eats or anything else. They went straight to the Domino's app because they were able to sit there and they knew it was a good pizza solving their issue, but they had a guarantee that it was going to be delivered in a certain amount of time, and they got to track the guarantee from it's in the oven to it's in the delivery car to it's arrived. And it takes out the question mark and the guessing and the assumption. And we all know the assumption makes an ass out of you and me. We've heard that little catchphrase. And I have realized that most people don't understand how to communicate. And the reason they don't understand how to communicate is because they don't. They leave people sitting there assuming something instead of clarifying it. So that's one thing we get a ton of comments on our national model with the windshield business is we're higher than the other local vendors and previous national vendors they've used. But they said, y'all are the best ones we've ever worked with because y'all communicate so well. We let them know when we've identified the truck, communicated with the driver, when we've got someone dispatched, when it's completed. We send the pictures to show that it was completed. And we talk in all forms of communication, through text, through call, through pictures. We just streamline that process. And I believe most businesses, if all they focused on was communication, that they would increase their 5-star reviews, their referrals, and their revenue, because the customer experience would be so much better. And internally, the chaos would die down, because that level of communication would not only be sitting with the customer, it would be sitting internally. And with CRM systems like House Call Pro, Jobber, all these others, there is automated communication that takes place. And you can send it via SMS, email, and it takes the question mark away. Make sure you update your customers in the process. If it's not something that's just an hour long, let them know. You know, if my guys, I tell them, look, if you know you're going to be late for the customer, then either you call the customer, preferably a minimum of 30 minutes before your appointment, realizing you're going to be late, preferably an hour, but at bare minimum 30 minutes, or you call the coordinator in the office and let them reach out and communicate. Because people have structured their life, like you said, they might have took off, and it just lets them feel important, and it gives the easy button. When I got notifications, for instance, my executive assistant told me exactly when I was supposed to be here at the podcast, told me exactly when I was supposed to be at the hotel, and gave me the driving distance in between.
Yeah.
Made it easy. When you can do that for your customer, it doesn't matter what your price is. We're the highest in the market on everything that we do, but people pay it all day long because you can read the reviews and they say it was effortless, the quality was high, and the communication was the best. And that's the three things. They know that they're going to get good quality, but the communication is almost always mentioned first when it comes to it. And then they talk about the quality, and they talk about the personalities of the technicians, their attitudes.
It's so simple, but just sending that text. I had a guy did my entire basement and everything, and every morning, I'm not even early bird, he was there. Can I start at 7:30? It's like 7:10, he'd be like, guys will be there at 7:29. Guys will be there at 7:38. Or I liked it. I'd wake up, they'd already be there, or whatever it is. It's like that quick communication. Nothing's worse than when you're getting a basement done or you're rehabbing a house and you go there at 10 o'clock and nobody's there, and then you call the guy and get the voicemail.
Yep. It's bad at customer experience.
All I'm thinking about is I'll get through the job with this guy and I'm never using him again.
And then you lost lifetime value. You lost a cheerleader in the market because now they're not telling their friends, family, church members, whatever it is. And it's just the bar is so low for people that will communicate.
But if he had sent a text really early and said, hey, another job's going to go over today. I won't be there till 11. Wanted to let you know, but we'll knock it out today. I don't care.
Yeah.
Then I don't even go there. I don't think. It's so simple.
Communicate.
But they don't. They're like always reactive.
Yeah.
It's too easy to be frictionless, communicate. I know it because I've been doing 35. You make so much money off it.
This is what I spend my weekends dwelling on. How can we make our process more fluid for the customer journey? And how can we make it more fluid for our team members so that we pull out we are really good at complicating crap. I have realized that. I look back, and especially in this past year where we've been shaving processes off, and I'm like, why did we do this? And I'm looking back into my CRM systems to see what is automated and what makes, like I have a spreadsheet for my call center for when we're doing intakes, and that's sitting inside of our CRM system at this point, where now they don't have to look at that and flip to the other screen to input the information or do a dual screen. It's all sitting there together. And so as rapid as technology is moving, you also need to pay attention to the CRM system, because that's going to help hit the easy button for your customer. You don't have to ask the customer multiple questions. Here's another big one. Have them deal with one person if any way possible. Because when you have to call in, and we've all experienced this, calling a phone company, a cable company, and you tell one person you're at the wrong department, so they transfer you to another department. Then you got to repeat yourself again, and then you got to go to another department. If you can have one person that sits there and takes the information and then can go ask that question instead of transfer after transfer, again, that's reducing the friction and increasing the customer experience to a higher level, and people are willing to pay for a better customer experience all day long.
And last part of that is private equity loves it. I've had multiple conversations with private equity when they were buying me in the process, and when they were like, so you don't even call them? You don't have to get on with the board?
Yeah.
They can't understand it because they've done way less than me, but they've done hundreds in that space. And they're like, how do you do that? So I showed them the process. It's like, it's almost like the M&M battle at the end. Like, I'm going to tell you everything you're going to say about me before. I figure it all out, and I give it to you, and I solve it. I don't give them the shit. I give them, okay, they're going to say this, I'll do this.
Yeah.
And then they're just like, ding.
Yeah.
Take it. 3 references. He gave us 100. Take it.
Yep.
And like, you do that. And I show them, and they were like, that's like incredible. So I know they want that. And then they were like, on your best customers, should we meet them? I'm like, I'm not doing any of that. And then they were like, well, should we do group calls? I said, there's so few people I have to call, and people don't even know me anymore.
Yeah.
We want it like that. They're already on.
They just know the team and
just
the brand.
roll it over. The team's there. The email's the same. The call's the same. It's easy. Make it frictionless, so you'll sell it for way more too.
Yeah.
And have a better life in the process.
I love it.
All right, guys, we'll be back next week. Oh, we have Blue Collar Millionaire Elite Retreat in Atlanta, November 7th and 8th, that weekend. It's going to be incredible. We're going to have all these elite members. We got a guy who did an $88 million exit coming. He's going to talk during our breakfast. All you got to do is fly there and get to the hotel. And it's not some $5,000 thing, which easily could be. All you have to do is be a BoardRoom Elite member, which is only $1,000 a month.
Yeah. And it's a month-to-month commitment.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't like it after 1 month, leave. We don't want people in there who don't want to be.
Yeah.
But
if
they
you're not
always
getting
stay.
value, go.
Yeah. We don't care.
So, yeah. See you guys next week.